What's something many people don't realize is actually rude to do or say? Rude to do? Cancel plans to attend an activity for the last minute, or just not show up to something you've RSVP'd for. I understand sometimes people suddenly get sick, their kid gets sick, or they have a last-minute work assignment. But I hate the "I changed my mind" or "I didn't feel like it" excuses. I actually had a birthday party where everyone I invited decided they'd just not show up, but it was okay because they assumed other people would come. I only invited 4 people, and nobody came. It was very hurtful and disappointing. Happy birthday to me. Asking when you're going to have kids. My fiancé had a hysterectomy a few years ago because reasons. We're planning to adopt and we're both fine with it. There's enough people in this world and we don't need to make more ourselves. Asked a lot when we're planning to have kids and she replies, completely deadpan, "I'm infertile," and the uncomfortable look on their faces when they don't know how to respond gives us both great joy. We hope it helps them think twice before asking someone else. I can't wait to marry that woman. Why are you so quiet? I used to be so bothered by this, but have come to realize that the people who ask almost always have good intentions and are trying to be inclusive. I've developed strategies for what to say if I'm being super quiet and someone calls attention to it. People who ask this typically just want to include you or make sure you're having a good time. It does feel awful when you have social anxiety or are trying to power through a bad day. But 99% of people who ask this have no idea that it makes us uncomfortable. Waving down a bartender instead of waiting for them to serve you. Walking away after ordering a drink, so now the bartender has to wait for you to come back and pay. Not having your money ready or credit card out to start a tab when getting a drink at the bar. Not tipping properly at bars in the US and being cheap or stiffing the bartender. Asking for the drink to be made stronger, but not willing to pay for it. And I can think of another 20 things. But this is a good start. Leaving your high beams on whenever there's a car in front of you, whether they're on the same or opposite side of the road. Of somebody who would always turn their highs off for oncoming cars and turn them on once said, "Car had passed, even though they were 15 feet behind me, and were still shining their highs into my face. I did not know this person, and had not committed some sort of traffic faux pas. Not respecting the concept of saving face. Someone's tag is out. Some lint on their sweater. If you don't know them very well, leave it alone. And my God, never touch another person." So many people think they are sparing someone embarrassment by pointing things out. But in actuality, the person was not aware and was not self-conscious before. And guess what? You just made them embarrassed and self-conscious. It's not just rude, it's incredibly rude. Around her neighborhood by a woman who told her that my wonderful 6-month-old nephew was an ugly baby, and that it was horrible that my who is 37 years old, was a 16-year-old with child. When I heard all this, my blood boiled at the nerve and audacity. Even if she actually was 16 and is such a problem, there is absolutely no excuse whatsoever to insult a baby. Approach a disabled person you don't know to call them brave, inspirational, etc., especially if you are using them as an example to children. Every single disabled person I have ever met hates when people do this. It's calling unnecessary attention to them, and a lot of people feel put on the spot. So it's not a kind or respectful thing to do. Just leave people the fuck alone. They're not here to be your example or your teachable moment. Happens daily where I'm helping people at work who both speak English, but it isn't their first language. We will be in a group discussion when they turn to each other and speak a language that I don't understand. I usually say something along the lines of, "If you two would speak English, we could all have a discussion." It's akin to whispering in front of people. The height of ignorance. Commenting on a stranger's acne, or trick or advice you have that you just have to share. The person knows what their skin looks like, has almost certainly tried everything and then some, and is just trying to get through their day. That shit hurts from friends and family, let alone some asshole customer at your job or dickhead at the bar. Just don't. Sharing your own experience before reacting to someone else sharing a story. No matter your intentions behind sharing your own story, it will always seem like you are trying to one-up someone or make everything about you. I'm not trying to say you can't or shouldn't share your story, but react and ask a few questions. Before you do, show that you care about the other person first. Listening to anything in public with your volume on. This includes TikTok, YouTube, social media, FaceTiming, phone on speaker, music, etc. No one gives a fuck what media you're consuming. Airports especially seem to attract this in droves, like earbuds or headphones don't exist. If I can hear your phone, you are getting the glare. Learn to adjust to polite society. Smile had a co-worker that kept telling me to smile, and I had to talk to a manager about it. I'm a large, rough-looking man, and apparently my resting staring off into space face offended her. I live with chronic pain, so no, I don't feel like smiling when I'm not interacting with anyone. I'm not scowling. I'm not mad, I'm just not happy. Not specific, but people learn somewhere that asking questions is a good conversational strategy, but they can't tell when it's making someone uncomfortable. I don't like being asked personal questions in front of other people when I don't have a good relationship with you. Learn to read when you're making someone uncomfortable. Letting the door shut behind you when you could hold it for someone. It takes 2 seconds to look over your shoulder and hold it if there's another person right there. Conversely, if you hold the door for someone who is too far away, and they have to jog so you aren't standing, that's kind of rude also. In the future, as in the future, please put your dishes in the dishwasher instead of the sink. It's been used so much in coaching and feedback situations at work that it sounds gratingly patronizing. Not the rudest thing you can say, but it's on my mind from another Reddit thread. If you are a guest in a Japanese home, don't you leave anything on your plate, means you weren't satisfied. It's a bad guest. Obviously, Japan is a modern society with an updated culture. Maybe you are digestively sensitive and doesn't apply carte blanche in 2024. Ask trans people about their bodies, former name, or life before transition. If they want to talk about it, they will bring it up. Otherwise, it's none of your business, and you are threatening their safety by opening the topic without their consent. Complimenting weight loss when the other person has not talked about exercising or dieting. When I was starting medications, I really struggled with making myself eat and lost around 10 pounds. Was really annoying getting reminded all the time. People driving insanely slow cruise, they're fascinated at the architecture or whatever or are lost. Instead of pulling over, they just drive crazy slow like snails, even though other people behind them are trying to get somewhere. So rude. Commenting on one's appearance, whether good or bad. You may say, wow, you've lost so much weight, you look amazing. And really that person is experiencing chronic health issues or something else that would contribute to the weight loss. Have you tried X diet supplement therapy to someone managing a chronic illness or other condition? Unless you also have this condition and you're speaking from personal experience, not someone you know. Do not. Just do not. Being chronically ill and constantly being told, well, at least it isn't cancer. No, but it's stuff I have to live the rest of my life with. Also, but you look okay. Crazy how most all of my body is on the inside me. As a reasonably tattooed person touching my tattoos without permission, I get asked about them a lot, which is fine, but a little annoying. But I really can't stand it when people start stroking me. Like, fuck off. It amazes me how many people cut each other off mid-sentence. It doesn't matter how many people are in the conversation, the topic, or nature of it. Inevitably someone will cut the other person off mid-sentence. Even if they literally point out the shortcomings, if they wanted to do better. It turns out the other way around. Even if relatives do this, it is very offensive. My father does this and it hurts a lot. Looking at your phone while someone talks to you. Put your phone down and live in the moment that is real. Your phone is just a waste of your time. 90% of the time, enjoy real face-to-face conversation. When are y'all gonna pop me out a grandchild? Unless they confided in you. You have no clue if they are having fertility issues or maybe just don't want to have kids and don't have the heart to tell you. So, will you have children? Why? Why not? Commenting on someone's appearance or clothes without making much of an effort not to be heard, especially when it's to bash that person's style or looks. As a dad, probably the single most offensive thing anyone can call me is a babysitter. I'm as much a real parent as my spouse is, so cordially fuck all the way off with that sexist bullshit, asking how many kids you want when you're going to have kids, etc. Basically anything about family planning. It's so common and seems a casual question, but is actually so freaking personal. If you've ever done an unconscious inherent bias training, there's a ton of examples that people don't think of. Taking a well-curated, well-run session of this type is very fascinating. Commenting on a pregnant woman's belly size. That goes for both I can't even tell you're pregnant and why you're so big. You have no idea how the mom will feel about your comment. I'm 24 and I've been asked by multiple people when I'm going to have a baby. The first person was a co-worker when I was 19. She told me I should start having them before I get too old. Camping out in the left lane on a highway when you're not actively passing anyone. It's also illegal in many states. The left lane isn't just another lane for you to hang out in. When someone tells you they are pregnant, don't say I knew it and make their announcement all about you and your psychic abilities. You can tell them that you suspected later. My aunt famously interrupts huge family gatherings to loudly ask people about their teeth. Did you get veneers? Or have you ever tried Crest white strips? Like bitches HHHH. Why are you so jumpy when I touch your arm? Not that it's any of your business, but it's because there was a time when someone wasn't joking raising their hand to me, telling a guy he's going bald or thinning out on top. He knows and is probably gutted. My response was always, I know. Have you put on weight? Apparently. I was the